Ever wish you could like teleport your shopping sprees to, some amazing English-speaking city?
Well.
Today's deep dive it's like the next best thing.
Oh, absolutely.
We're diving into this guide. It's big. It's like a crash course. Shopping English 101. Vocabulary, the cultural stuff you need to know. The works.
Yeah, see, knowing basic English is one thing, right? But actually shopping abroad, that's a whole other ballgame. You've got to think about sizes, customs, sometimes even different money, all while trying to sound, like you know what you're doing.
It's true. It's like a real-life video game almost. Like the more fluent you are, the better stuff you can get.
Uh-huh.
And lucky for us, this guide, it's full of those cheat codes, right? We've got super realistic dialogues, and they're set in places people actually go when they travel, clothing stores, supermarkets, that kind of thing.
You know what I like about it? It's not just like boring lists of words. This guide throws you right into the conversation. You pick things up naturally.
Exactly. It's learning by doing well, listening in this case.
Yeah.
Podcast style, right?
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Okay, so let's say someone's on the hunt for the perfect pair of jeans. They walk into a store. Maybe it's somewhere with a totally different fashion scene than they're used to.
Yeah.
What's the best way to start chatting with someone there? What's the smoothest way to kick things off?
That's where this guide really nails it. You know that phrase, I'm looking for? It seems basic, but it's like a magic key that unlocks help in any store, anywhere. I'm looking for a pair of straight-leg jeans. Boom. You've said it, now they know what you need.
And, when you're staring at a wall of denim, clarity is key. But here's where it gets kind of interesting, right? The guide mentions how sizes, like clothing sizes, can be totally different depending on where you are. I mean, what you think is your size could be labeled something completely different somewhere else. Is that something you've encountered?
Oh, totally. It's one of those things you don't really think about until, bam, you're in a dressing room with pants that don't fit. And the reasons behind it are kind of cool, actually. It's not always about, inches and centimeters. A lot of times it's about how different cultures like their clothes to fit.
I've got to be honest, I never even thought about there being different cultural ideas about how jeans should fit.
Yeah.
Okay, this deep dive is already blowing my mind. Okay, so you've braved the fitting room, you found that perfect pair, they fit like a dream, you're taking them home. The guide gives us this phrase to seal the deal. I'll take them. It's so short, but it gets the job done.
I know, right? And the best part is you can use it for just about anything. Buying jeans, grabbing a coffee, even accepting an offer, I'll take it. It's like your linguistic Swiss Army knife.
I love that. It's like this guide isn't just giving us shopping vocabulary. It's giving us tools for real-life conversations. But our shopping adventure is not over yet. We've conquered the clothing store. Now it's time to take on the supermarket. Okay, so from designer labels to, those delicious deals, our shopping spree continues. We're heading into, like, a bustling supermarket, shopping list in hand, ready to use all this English we've been practicing. I'm picturing myself right now scanning those aisles, looking for the essentials, milk, eggs, all that good stuff. What's the guide recommend for, actually finding things in a supermarket, especially if you need a little help?
One thing I really like about this section is how it focuses on being polite, even when you're in a crowded, maybe kind of stressful supermarket. They recommend starting any conversation with a staff member with a simple, excuse me. It's almost like pressing pause for a second, right? Just to show respect to everyone around you.
Yeah, totally. It's easy to forget those little things when you're just focused on getting your groceries,
Yeah.
But you're right, it makes a difference. So, okay, I've gotten someone's attention, been super polite now. How do I actually ask them for what I need?
So this is where asking those clear, short questions really helps. The guide gives this example. Where can I find the dairy products? So you're not getting into specifics yet, not asking about a certain type of milk or anything. You're starting broad just to get your bearings.
Yeah, I get it. It's like asking for directions, right? Start with the big picture, then zoom in on the details. Love it. Okay, so I've found the dairy aisle thanks to my amazing English skills and that super helpful staff member, but now, I'm on a mission for those perfect avocados, like perfectly ripe organic avocados. That's a non-negotiable for me. Any tips from the guide on navigating the produce section?
Definitely. It actually points out how important it is to know specific words like, organic, which you've already got down, but also aisle. Knowing that word is key for understanding the layout of the store. They're like your supermarket vocabulary essentials.
It's crazy how a couple of words can make you feel so much more confident, right? Speaking of which, confession time, I always get a little unsure about how supermarkets are laid out in other countries. Like, is peanut butter going to be with the jam or is it going to be over by the cereal?
That is the mystery of the supermarket. Every country's got their own system. And the guide touches on this really interesting point. Supermarkets, they're like little windows into the local culture. They reflect what people eat, how they shop, all that.
That's so true. It really makes you think, like, who decided pickles belong next to ketchup? Maybe a deep dive for another day. But for now, shopping cart's full. I'm ready to check out. What's the most natural way to say I'm done shopping? I don't want to accidentally start putting my groceries on the conveyor belt at the wrong time.
Don't worry, they've got you covered. The guide gives you the perfect phrase. That's all for today. Simple, polite, and everyone understands it. It's basically like saying to the cashier, okay, I'm ready, let's do this.
I love it. That's all for today. It's like the magic phrase to escape the supermarket maze. But as much as I love finding a good bargain, I'm realizing this deep dive is about so much more than just, like, mastering the art of shopping in English. It's those little cultural insights, those moments where you're like, oh, I get it, that this guide is really good at weaving in.
Absolutely. Language and culture, they go hand in hand, right?
Mhm.
By understanding the why behind the words, we get a much deeper appreciation for how powerful language is, even in totally normal, everyday situations.
Like this guy, it's like having a passport, but not just to a different country's stores. It's like a passport to understanding how people actually think and do things.
Yeah, totally.
We figured out sizes, grocery store layouts, even how to ask for help without sounding, totally clueless.
Yeah.
But there's this one more thing, and it's about how to really sound natural, really effortless when you're shopping. The guide kind of touches on it in the intro.
You mean the part about observation and like actively listening to how people talk?
Yeah, it's like you can memorize phrases all day long, but there's something else that really makes a difference.
It is. It's like the difference between like reading sheet music and actually feeling the music.
Exactly. But how do you actually do that while you're shopping? It seems like you'd just be like totally distracted trying to find the best deals.
Okay, so think of it this way. You're adding a whole other layer to your shopping trip. You're browsing, right. But you're also paying attention to how the staff talks to people, like what kind of tone they use. Are there any words or phrases they use a lot?
So it's like being like a language detective or something.
Exactly. You're looking for those clues that tell you how to sound more like a local.
That's so smart because honestly, I always worry about using the wrong phrase and then it's like instant misunderstanding.
That's why active listening is so key. You start to pick up on those little things, even humor or slang, that you wouldn't necessarily find in a textbook.
Okay, this is seriously blowing my mind. So it's not just about like, I need these jeans, I'm going to go buy these jeans. It's about like actually enjoying the whole experience of using the language.
Yes. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It's like, I don't know, think about learning to dance. At first, you're all focused on the steps, but then at some point, you stop thinking and you just feel it.
This deep dive has been amazing. We started feeling lost in a foreign clothing store, and now we're like confidently checking out at the supermarket, all thanks to this guide and its focus on like actually using the language in the real world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just the beginning, right? Every time you travel, every conversation, it's a chance to learn and grow, keep exploring, keep listening, and most importantly, have fun with it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
That's all for today, everyone, but keep those language adventures going.